So if you know a pastor who wants to know how they can keep playing it safe in the middle during this critical cultural moment, J.D. Greear has her back here. And he says something really astounding at the end of this. Let's break it down.
You know, it seems like a lot of pastors are being drawn to a more partisan posture in the culture war. And that's partially a response to what they see as the problematic moral equivocation of the so-called third way. They want to be prophetically bold. They want to stand for righteousness in our generation. I agree with much of their critique and concern, but just in watching the conversation take place right now, I think a lot are making a pretty grave mistake.
Let's be very clear about what the third way is. It started as, hey, you can be neither left nor right. And what it's become is, hey, we can't be anything anti-left. In other words, we can't dive into these controversial truths that are spiritual and moral truths like sexuality, gender, abortion, and cultural Marxism. We can't talk about those things that might be a stumbling block to the gospel. We can punch right. That's become okay in third wayism, but we can't say anything that would be anti-left. Let's keep going here.
You see, all my life I was warned about the danger of the left ditch on the Christian road, liberalism. And it is there, it's real, and it's a very real danger. But nobody ever mentioned the right ditch, which is Christless conservatism. It's like that old Scottish.
All of my life, it's been the total opposite, actually. And the only ditch that the modern church has been concerned with the last few decades has been the ditch on the right, Christless conservatism, which is a very real ditch. We want Christ-filled conservatism, conserving biblical Christian values when we say that. But the ditch that we've steered into and that we're driving in the modern church, most of the modern church, is the ditch of godless leftism. And that's why the church has become so woke. But let's keep going here.
Proverb says, for every 1 mile of road, you got 2 miles of ditch. And, you know, Jesus' crucifixion was a joint project between the, let's just call them the secular left and the religious right. We don't want to morally equivocate the two, but we've got to acknowledge that both will take us off the gospel road.
I don't want to morally equivocate the two, but let me just keep on morally equivocating the two. And the religious right were the ones that killed Jesus, the Pharisees, the ones that created their own sense, like a new morality that was not aligned with biblical morality. Sounds a lot more like the religious woke to me, but let's keep going as he finishes here.
Road. All the studies right now show that Gen Z is returning to church. Praise God. But a pressing question is what we're going to steer them to. I hope this book helps steer them to gospel mission and not merely partisan politics.
So, of course, we don't want them merely in partisan politics, but did you notice that Gen Z's returning to church? Praise God. Yes, JD, it's precisely because of men like Charlie Kirk who were willing to be faithful and bold for truth.